Today, we talk to Dekalb County School Board member Diijan Dacosta all about how to get the young vote. Alrighty, guys, we are here with Dekalb County District 6 School Board member, Mr. Diijan Dacosta. And we want to talk about everything about getting out the young vote in Dekalb County. We are so happy to have you, Mr. Dacosta. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about your position. I want to make sure that my viewers understand what the school board is, who they are, and what they do. You know, it seems so far away from the average person when you're just a teacher in school or you're a student. But what do you do?
Well, so I'll tell you this. You know, I first believe that education is the passport, and the key to success. I always leave everybody with that so that we can have a vision of where we're going, right? But with the Dekalb County Board of Education, we allocate resources. We utilize the budget of $1.9 billion and distribute it equitably across the district. We hire a superintendent, which we just hired a marvelous superintendent this year in July, Dr. Watson Harris. And also we provide guidance to the superintendent to ensure that our children are receiving a
well-rounded education.
Well-rounded education.
Yes, that's exactly what we need. We need more school board members that hire great superintendents that care about our kids and their needs. Because in the areas that we're in, I'm in Clayton. I work in South Atlanta. You're in Dekalb. I worked in South Dekalb also when I first became an educator. And I understand that we need leaders, superintendents, school board members that can relate to our children, and care for them and want them to succeed. So I have heard great things about your superintendent, so I'm very happy about that.
I thank you so much.
Yes. Now let's talk about Georgia turning blue. Now, of course, you're not in Clayton County because we were the county that flipped it. Okay, you're not that blessed to be with Clayton County. But anyway, you are in Dekalb County, one of those huge blue counties that flipped totally blue. How does that make you feel? And how do you think that we were able to do it?
It made, when I woke up the next morning, right? And I saw that, we were projected to be a Democratic state. I was in shock. I had to really call around, honestly, to see if it was true, because the last time we were blue was probably 1992 or something like that.
Yes.
Way before my voting time, right? So
and before mine too.
Right. So it was imaginable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But definitely it took a moment of celebration. It was important because, the work that we do here in Dekalb County to motivate our scholars, motivate the young people, motivate everybody, not just on the importance of voting, but educating them on why they should vote.
Yes, why. Mm-hmm.
I believe that we struggle as a community because of the educational portion, right? We don't know that we have power within our voices, within the ballot and things in that nature. So I tend to say this to the young people, right? I have to break it down to them in a way that they can understand, right? So I said, hey, man, listen, you like being a boss, right? Like, yeah, I like being a boss. You like to hire somebody that you choose and best fit to run your company, right? And I said, well, that's all your reasons on voting, because technically your tax dollars pay for the salaries. We're not employees, we're voted in. Pay for the salaries of everybody that is in these positions. And you're that boss. And so I just had to think about different creative ways on, having them to rethink what the perception of voting is of, how America, process this and just delivering it to them in another way. So I commend the Dekalb Gems. I commend every single soul who was on the ground. It was one of those things that we received the wisdom from our elders, right? Mm-hmm. And they put us to work, knocking on doors, making sure that our, counterpartners, our friends, and everybody knew. And now we can say, look, here's your work paid off. We're blue.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love the way that you talked about our ancestors, because a lot of what we're dealing with today looks like 1960 as opposed to 2020, with police brutality and just the Black Lives Matter movement fighting against that. And I just want to talk more about the curriculum and the push to get young voters engaged civically in DeKalb County, and what you guys are doing to make sure that's properly promoted.
Right. So here in DeKalb, we just signed off on our proclamation, right? The Black Lives Matter School Weeks of Action, and in that curriculum, it talks about the importance of what our ancestors went through to get where we are. Yeah. We said, listen, at the end of the day, if they're trying to stop us from voting, that means that there's something behind it. There's something important on why they're trying to stop, right? So educating them about these, the concept of how everything functions, talking to them really about affirmations and reshaping their minds, right? I believe in the philosophy, once you change your mindset, everything around you changes, right? So it's changing the mindset, giving them that permission to think outside the box, giving them that permission to be able to utilize their voices. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we need. We need young leaders like yourself to allow our youth to use their voices in positive ways. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Dacosta, for taking your time to speak to me and my very small audience that will one day be big. Yes. And I'll remember that you were one of my first interviewees. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.